To begin with judicial matters, where the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, has been ordered by the Federal High Court sitting in Umuahia, Abia State, to immediately delete Section 84, subsection 12 of the amended Electoral Act. Justice Evelyn Anyadike on Friday held that the section was unconstitutional, invalid, illegal, null, void, and of no effect whatsoever, and cannot stand because it's in violation of the clear provisions of the Constitution. The section says, quote, "No political appointee at any level shall be voting delegate or be voted for at the convention or congress of any political party for the purpose of the nomination of candidates for any election." In the suit, Justice Ayadike further stated that the 1999 Constitution already stipulates that appointees of government seeking to contest elections were only to resign at least 30 days to the date of the election, and that any other law that mandated such appointees to resign or leave office at any time before that was unconstitutional, null, void to the extent of its inconsistency to the clear provisions of the Constitution. Now, a high court in the Federal Capital Territory has vacated an order stopping the National Convention of the All Progressives Congress, billed for March the 26th, from taking place. Justice Bello Kau gave the judgment, arguing that a political party cannot be sued by its member. The judge relied on a recent Supreme Court judgment, Aguma versus APC, to conclude his ruling. Justice Kau had on November the 18th, 2021, granted an order suspending the convention indefinitely after Salisu Umoro, the plaintiff in the suit, took APC, the chairman, caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, and the Independent National Electoral Commission before the court to challenge the planned convention. And the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says Willie Obiano, the immediate past governor of Anambra State, has not been released from its custody but transferred to Abuja. The anti-graft agency was reacting to earlier reports that the former governor had been released. Mr. Obiano, who has been on the commission's watch list for months, was taken into custody by the EFCC at about 8:30 p.m. yesterday at Murtala Muhammed International Airport in Lagos, hours after the inauguration of his predecessor, Charles Chukwumah Soludo. Our correspondent, Ivy Kano, visited the EFCC office here in Lagos and brought back this report.
March the 17th will remain indelible in the mind of the ex-governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano, as he did not only hand over to his successor, Professor Charles Soludo, but also a day that he was picked up at the Murtala Muhammed International Airport here in Lagos on his way out of the country to Houston in the United States. He's been governor for 8 years, and that has made it impossible for the commission to arrest him because he had immunity. Now that he has left the office, on that same day he was picked up, we gather that he's been on the watch list of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission for over 4 months while in office before his tenure ended. We also know that last year in November, the commission had written to the Nigerian immigration informing them to put the ex-governor on their watch list and get across to them anytime he's trying to leave the country. So that was actually what happened on Thursday. It was a collaboration between the Nigerian Immigration Service and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Earlier, there were reports that he had been released, but we can tell you from what we gathered that he's been moved to the Commission's headquarters in Abuja.
Let's take you to Delta State, where the State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of a man suspected to be involved in the killing of an army lieutenant in Efron. The police also have in their custody some suspected cultists said to have killed 4 rival cult members in Jesse, Ethiopia West local government area. Ikina Amechi was there.
On the 11th of this month, an army lieutenant was shot dead in his private car in Enere community, Uwe Council area of Delta State, and the police immediately launched a manhunt for his killers. Today, the police commissioner in the state, during a parade of suspects, which include suspected cultists, kidnappers, armed robbers, speaks more about the death of the young military officer.
We had a bad incident where a lieutenant, the ops officer of Nigerian Army based in Warri, was shot at the wee hours of that night. My men, led by the DPO himself, were on patrol along Urobo College Road. They saw a young man that was, dead, lying lifeless in the pool of his own blood, and the body was picked to the station. His pocket was searched, an ID card was recovered. Then a call was put across to our sister agency, and in fact they confirmed that he is one Lieutenant M.M. Musa. One suspect has been arrested, and the command is making efforts with a view to ensuring that his allies, those who partake in that dastardly act, are also arrested and dealt with.
On parade here are these 43 young men arrested for their alleged involvement in cultism, which is prevalent in some parts of the state, with the recent court-related killings in Jesse, Etiop West Council area.
I want to inform you today that we have arrested 3 of the notorious members of Arobaga group that were indeed responsible for this killing, and they are all here. Cultists, like you are aware, have been disturbing the command in recent times, not just at Ogara and Jesse axis alone.
This young man is in custody for unsuccessful suicide attempt. The police also recovered some arms and ammunition. The rise in court-related violence in the state can be reflected in the number of suspects arrested for cultism, as the State Police Command wants school authority and the state government to do more to ensure cultism is reduced to the barest minimum. Ikenna Amechi, TVC News, Asaba.
Also, Borno State, where more than 1,000 less privileged persons in Maiduguri have benefited from food, seedlings and cash assistance courtesy of the Wali of Borno. The humanitarian assistance is aimed at giving them a sense of belonging. TVC News' Jesse Tafida reports.
6 different locations within Maiduguri and Jere Local Council benefited from the humanitarian gesture, including the State Specialist Hospital, Kamburi Kura, Kamburi Ghana, and Fatima Ali Sharif Orphanage. Other State Specialist Hospital, patients at the pediatric ward benefited from cash assistance to enable them buy drugs and other medical items.
We need to identify ourselves as colleagues in humanity, our human colleagues before any other thing. We should always try and reach out to the downtrodden, those truly in need, those that cannot reach out. I often say, even if you don't have much, but if you have the privilege to reach out to someone and even ask, it's even a privilege. So we'll keep doing that for as long as we live and whatever means we have.
Medical Director of the hospital and beneficiaries lauded the monarch for the gesture.
We are happy to have people like you in our midst that have been doing this, not the first time and this is not the second. So we are very happy for you.
She says, I never expected this today. My son has been sick for 5 days now. This support would go a long way in settling our medical bills. I am very grateful by this gesture. I'm delighted. I pray God to bless Wali for doing this. Food and cash assistance was also distributed to the blind in Maiduguri, as well as to the Fatima Ali Sharif Orphanage. The Wali of Borno also presented 500 different types of seedlings to be used by the less privileged as economic trees. The management of the State Specialist Hospital appreciate this gesture and are calling on other well-to-do individuals to come to the aid of the less privileged in the society so as to put a smile on their faces. Jesse Tafida, TVC News, Maiduguri.